Hello everyone. So I am Shyam Kishore working for IST. So now I am going to demonstrate on automating IIB deployment using IBM UCD, where I will show you practically how to achieve automation of IIB deployment. So this is agenda for this demo. So where I will show you about what is a DevOps and CI tools, what is IBM UrbanCode deploy, and its architecture and the prerequisites. So what are the prerequisites we need for this demo, and also creating a repository in Git and also creating a task in UCD. And after that, I will show you creating IIB integration server. So firstly, I'm going to talk about what is DevOps. So DevOps, it means development and operations work better together to have better collaboration, better communication, and the main goal is to build trust and reduce the bugs. As we know that in process from development to production, there are a whole number of stakeholders are working. So there will be some business analyst, some designer, code tester. So and we have to get software from one environment to another environment. So their DevOps comes in the scenario to better collaboration and better communication. So coming to next slide. So firstly, what is the exactly meaning of continuous integration? So continuous integration, it is a software engineering in which isolated changes are immediately tested and reported, and continuous process that improves the quality of software and provides rapid feedback so that if defect is introduced into the code base, so it can be identified and corrected as soon as possible. And also it reduces the risk during the integration, deployment, and during the testing. And also we will be saving time of delivery. So coming to the next slide. So these are the CI tools which are provided by the third-party vendors. So for this demo, I am going to use IBM UCD CI tools, which is provided by the IBM. So coming to the next slide. So where I will tell you what is the IBM UrbanCode deploy and its architecture. So it is a standardized and process of deploying software components to different environments in our development cycle. So it is a tool for automating application deployment so through our environments, and also automates the middleware configuration and also testing. So it is designed to facilitate rapid feedback and continuous delivery in agile development and also versioning. And the main thing is that it is a drag and drop design tool, so that in decrease design time by making it easy to visual, and also a clear visibility like what is deployed, where and who changed what. So coming to the next, so this is the high level architecture. So starting from the left, so development, where developer will do the checking to the SCM, that is a source code management. And after that, IBM UCD, what it will do, it will package the repository artifacts, and then it will deploy the artifacts. Then after it will test and deploy file, and next is it will send to the stage. Then after at finally it will send to the production. So coming to the next, so this is the IBM UCD architecture, where I am going to tell you every element in brief. So from the left, components that contains the artifacts and processes. Artifacts can contain runnable files, images, databases, anything else. So in demo, we will be using bar file as artifacts that is present in source code management Git repository. So component processes, that is the user-defined steps that operate on components. Here steps mean operations on artifacts. So coming to the application, so this part comes under the application. It manages the components typically by deploying them into environments. So application environments, so it is a user-defined collection of resources that identify the components that can be deployed by the parent application along with the agents that do the main work. An application process, so it direct underlying components process and orchestrate multi-component deployments. And the environments, it tells us where we will be running the application process on an environment. And agents, so it is a lightweight process that runs on the host and communicate with the IBM UrbanCode deploy server. And also it manages the resources that are actual deployment target. It does the actual work of deploying components and so relieve the server from the task, making large deployments that involves thousands of targets possible. And deployments are managed by the agent that is a reside. It might be on a local system, it might be on host. And the resources, it represents the deployment targets. Resources such as database and server reside on the host. And the plugins, so IBM has provided thousands of plugins for different technologies that will be having the built-in steps to perform the operations. So coming to the next prerequisites. So before moving the further, make sure that we should have the install this dependency in our system, like IBM UrbanCode tool, IBM integration toolkit. So for the runtime environment, like server, and also for the development, in which developer will do the check-in to the source code management, and Git repository for the source code management. Here we are using, and IBM UCD. So it consists of IBM UrbanCode deploy server, database, and at least one agent. Coming to the next, IIB code check-in from IIB toolkit to Git. So here developer changes the application and check it to the Git repository. So UrbanCode build is notified of the Git commit which contains the updated code. Moving to the next slide. So creating repository in Git. So here I have created the Git repository as named UCD IIB demo. So here we will be seeing the files and latest commit time also. Moving to the next, creating task in IBM UCD. So creating task means creating the new application in UCD which will be configured with all the requirements. And moving to the next, creating IIB server and deploying WAR file into it. So IBM integration server on which the WAR file will be deployed. So the new artifacts are available for testing. So now let's have a quick demo.
So firstly, I will show you all the required technologies which we are going to use in this demo. So this is IIB toolkit where developer will do the development and checking the code into the SCM, source code management. So this is the SCM. Here I am using the Git for the source code management, and this is the bar file which I have uploaded from the IIB. And this is the IBM UCD. Using this we will get the IIB deployment automation. This is running on the default port number 8443. So now let's log in. So here we have to give username and password which we have provided at the time of installation. So successfully we have logged in. So let me create task in IBM UCD. So the first step, what we have to do, we have to create component that contains artifacts and process, where artifacts can be renewable files and images, anything else that is associated with the software project, and the processes that define the activities that components can perform. So let me create the component. So as I have created the component as named UCD IIB demo. So here we have to configure the components. Click on the configuration. And here we have to give the field a source configuration tag. So in this field we have to choose where the code is available, your source code. Like here we can find all options like as file system, Git, Maven, subversion. So here our code is on Git repository. So here we have to select the Git, and here we have to give the repository URL. As we can find here, if you open the Git repository, click here. So here we have to copy and we have to provide in this field. And after that we have to give the username password if the Git repository is the private. And the Git path, that is the mandatory. And here the git.exe file that is running on our local system. So here we have to give the path of the git.exe file. And the agent for the version imports. So here agent which I have created on our local system as named Miracle Ice to import the versions, and click on the save. Then click on the versions to get the latest versions from the SCM. So just click on the import new versions and just save it. Then you will get the new latest versions as we got earlier. This one, if you click on that, so you will get to know that what are the artifacts are there. As we can see, UCD IIB demo.bar. Already we have this bar file here. So we have pulled this bar file in the IBM UCD. Then go to the create the processes. That process, that is a user-defined task that operate on components. As I have created the processes, UCD IIB demo processes, there we can perform the steps on artifacts. So for our demo here, we are going to perform a steps on artifact, that is a var file. So what we will do, we will create execution group. After that, we will deploy the var file in the execution group. So how we will get to this step? So before that, we have to upload the plugins. As I have uploaded the plugins WebSphere message broker. So here these are the operations which we can perform using these plugins. Like we can create the execution group, we can delete the configuration file. So these are the steps we can use on the artifacts. So here we have only drag and drop here, and we got this one. And after that, we have configured this execution group. So here we have to specify the execution group name. So here we are going to create the execution group as named miracle.is, and it is running on the local host. So I have given the IP as a local host, and I have to give the integration node name, means on which integration node we want to create the execution group, and we have to specify the channel name as well as team manager name, username and password. And the jar path, this is very important here. So we have to specify the jar files like configuration manager.jar files and IBM jar files, and click on the OK. Then save it. Then after, we have to create the resources. As we know that it represents the deployment targets where database and servers reside. So here I have created the resources as named UCD IIB demo resources, and in these resources we have to add the agents. So here if you click on the actions in drop down, we will get the add agents. So just I have clicked here and we have added the agents as a miracle eyes. And after that we have to add the components. If you click here action, here we will get the option add component. So finally we have added the components. Then next we have to create the applications. So that manage the components, that is typically by deploying them into the environments. I have just click on the create application. So here I have created the UCD IIB demo app. And after that we have to create the environments. That is the user-defined collection of resources that identify the components. So before that, we have to create the processes. So here I have created the processes UCD IIB demo deploy. So only we have to drag the install UCD IIB demo as I have created. Here we can see the configuration. So here we have given the component name. So here we can select the more than one component name after drag and dropping this property. And we have selected the components and component process. Just click on the OK and save it. And after that we have to create the environment. So I have created this environment. In this we have to add the resource. So we have to click on the add base resources as I have added these resources. which I have shown you how to create the resources previously. Then last step, we have to deploy this one. Just uncheck this one because already we have pulled the latest versions, and select the processes, and here we have to select versions, which versions you want to deploy onto the server. Just click on the choose versions, add the versions. Here we can see only we have the one version. So here we have to select these versions and click on the OK and submit this one. So here we can observe the step-by-step process. We can also expand this one to see the step-by-step process. Not only this one, also we can see the logs. So it is successfully done. Here we can see the logs, like I am opening the logs creating execution group. So we can see the logs also. Yeah, now we can see the execution group Miracle Ice that is created on the IIB 9 node, which we have configured in the process, component process, and we can see the bar file that is deployed on the execution group as named miracle.ice. So recently we have added few videos in YouTube about how to get integration platform on Docker and how to get PubSub services in IIB.
Thanks for watching our videos. Please like and subscribe our YouTube channel for more videos. To learn more, visit www.miraclesoft.com. You can like our Facebook page at facebook.com/miracle45625. You can follow us on Twitter at the rate team_MSS, and you can watch our videos and subscribe them in youtube.com/miracle45625. Thank you.